Hello, English 112 students. Welcome to week three. We got a jam-packed week. Want to make sure that you understand all the stuff that's going on this week. Remember first that you have to submit your final draft of the full annotated bibliography. That's due at the end of this week. Last week you did the B12 self-assessment and reflection piece that reminded you of the things you're supposed to do and asked you to talk about your processes. This week you're making final edits to that and submitting that B13 full annotated bib. Remember, there's 8 sources, and there are rules. You have to have 2 sources that are popular, 2 scholarly, 2 gray lit, and so on. So make sure you look at the full description of that assignment to make sure that you're following the instructions, and look at these samples as well. That's the carryover from Module B. Then Module C, which I'll open up after this video is recorded, we take the first actual 5 assignments in Module C we're doing this week. So remember, you're working on that last essay, but you're also starting these other assignments. We're picking up on Module C now. So you're going to do C1, which is called Arguing to Persuade. It's a chapter reading and a chapter assignment in Connect. Again, I've reduced the number of concepts there so that you're not having to go through 1,000 different concepts. After that, you're going to do another Connect assignment called Critiquing an Argument and Rhetorical Analysis. So what we're doing this module C, is you're going to select one of those sources from your annotated bib, or one that you found since you created your annotated bib that you really like, an argument, and you're going to achieve or do what's called a rhetorical analysis of it. So some of you who took English 111 at Johnston Community College, or most of you, you did a literary analysis where you had to take a story and break it apart into small pieces and talk about those things. You're doing the same thing here. You're taking an argument that you found that you want to use in your proposal essay later during the semester. You're going to break that argument up into pieces. You're going to talk about each one of those individual pieces and how those things make up the whole argument. For instance, you'll talk about who the intended audience is for the argument that you're reading. When I say argument, I mean a scholarly report or essay or an article that is arguing to make a point that someone might disagree with. That's what makes an argument. Someone may disagree with it. I'm not talking about an argument where you pound on the table and you're mad at one another. I mean an argument where you actually are making points. You're making a case. You have reasons. You back up those reasons with facts and statistics. So you're going to find something like that you want to use in your proposal essay that you've chosen the topic of. And then you're going to take that one article and break it apart. That's what a rhetorical analysis is. So doing the C2 assignment will show you what a rhetorical analysis is. C3 is a practice rhetorical analysis. You're going to read an article that's, I believe, based on the problems with the prison system. That's what it is, I believe. So the person who wrote that article that you're going to use in the Connect assignment is suggesting that we should have these other pathways to reduce the number of highly populated prisons and the number of repeat offenders who go back to prison. So you're going to take a look at what a rhetorical analysis is by reading that article and then performing that rhetorical analysis inside of the Connect assignment. It's a power of process wheel assignment, I do believe, where you read the article and then you stop and annotate where the instructions will ask you to find something in the essay. You'll annotate it by highlighting, and then you'll write a little bit about it. After that, you will do the C4 Rhetorical Appeals Discussion Board. Remember that there are special rules that go with C4 with all discussion boards for this semester. That means that during the week, you have to submit your original post before Wednesday, and then you have to reply to the 2 other students before Sunday. I do this for a reason. It's so that everybody doesn't wait until the end of the week to do the original post. Therefore, this creates a more congruent type of discussion, or one that's happening at the same time instead of you talking at people, you're talking with them. The last thing that you'll do for week 3 is the C5 APA review. It's another small Connect assignment that asks you to look over what we need to do for APA, because that's what we're using this semester, is APA, not MLA. And that'll tell you what to do for each one of those. So we're going to take a quick look at all the things that you needed to do this week. So let's start with B13. So if you scroll all the way down to the end of the B module, you'll see that the full draft of the annotated bib is to be turned in via this link. You click the link here. It says, remember that it requires 9 sources. I misspoke earlier. The 2 from your B9 plus 6 more sources. So add 6 more to it. Actually, it should be 8. I don't know why I say 9. I think it's 8. 1 from your B9 draft plus 7 more. Sorry about that. So then we go back from the B module to the beginning of C. So then this module will be open by the time this video is posted, but you'll see that what we're doing is C1 through C5. Again, the C module, you'll practice rhetorical analysis. You'll have a chance to analyze one of your project sources more closely, as I mentioned. As we do this, we're evaluating the arguments that writers make and how well they support their argument using the rhetorical appeals that you've probably heard of before: ethos, pathos, and logos. Those are all described in the assignments that come C1 through C5. The skills we learn in this unit through analysis will be important for the next unit of study, where we'll complete the proposal essay. So module C, you're not even doing the proposal essay yet. That's not until module D. We're getting ready. We're getting all of our stuff ready, and we're picking out ways to analyze the arguments we'll use in our proposal essays. In that essay that comes in the D module, you'll need to use the rhetorical strategies that we're analyzing in this module. We're going to do another research log for this module, so use the template to track your progress with our research. Every time you locate another source that's going to be helpful, you add it to your research log. And remember, you should add 5 more entries to the research log by the end of this module. That means that your research log should have at least 15 entries by the time you submit your rhetorical analysis at the end of module C. So in the first module, or B module, you added 10 sources to your log. You're adding 5 more here. If you missed any entries from the previous module, go ahead and add them now. Remember, this part here, the grade penalties. The source you analyze for the rhetorical analysis essay must be included in the research log. It can be an entry from this module or from module B, doesn't matter. But 25 points will be deducted from the rhetorical analysis essay final grade if the source is not included in the research log. So make sure that you do that. C1, again, I told you, is an e-text chapter in the Smart Book activity, arguing to persuade. So this is showing you what an argument is so that you may pick one effectively to do your rhetorical analysis. Next is the C2 assignment, critiquing an argument and rhetorical analysis. It contains a link to chapter 9 and also chapter 22, and then a smart book activity as well as some other resources. We want you to read the chapter here, look at the resources, take notes on the strategies for critiquing arguments and a rhetorical analysis, then complete the smart book activity. C3 is the one that's a power of process connect assignment. We're going to use this type of assignment to analyze the readings and reflect on our own work later. Before beginning, you'll watch a video that opens in a new window that describes what type of assignment this is through the Power of Process wheel assignment. There are also some other resources in the folder to help you with your rhetorical analysis practice. C4 is an assignment that asks you to return to your C3 assignment as you prepare for your discussion. So the essay you used here in the C3 assignment, the one that's about prison reform, you'll talk about it in the C4 discussions board post. So when you go to the C4 discussions boards post, it's going to ask you to reread the assignment from C3, and then you're going to be analyzed one of the appeals to analyze. Assigned one of these appeals, ethos, pathos, or logos. You're going to see the list below. Down here, here's the list. If your last name starts with an A or I, you will analyze ethos. If your last name begins with J through R, you will analyze pathos. And if your last name starts with S through Z, you will analyze logos. That means that you will go back to that reading from C3 and you will analyze either ethos, pathos, or logos, whichever one you're assigned from your last name. Make sure that you read this initial post information very thoroughly and do all the things here. Explain your analysis of one of the other elements from the reading. So once you analyze either ethos, pathos, or logos, you have to pick one of the other elements from the reading. That could be tone, bias, or audience analysis. This is up to you, but you should only choose one more. You'll do another paragraph, and it will be 100 words. So that will be your original post. That needs to be done before Wednesday night at midnight. And then after that, you'll respond to at least two of your classmates' posts here who analyzed or you're going to respond to at least one of them who analyzed a different appeal than you. So if you were assigned to ethos, then you need to select at least one of the person who did either pathos or logos. All right. If you have any questions about this assignment, you can always ask me about that through an email. The last thing is the C5 APA review. It's a folder that helps you go through some of the actual in-text citations, quotations, and plagiarism, how those are used in APA, what your references page should look like, and so on. Okay. So if there are any questions for me, ask those via an email. If not, I hope you have a good week and that everything goes smoothly for you. I'll be here waiting for your questions, and I'll be doing some grading on Sunday of week 2, the end of week 2, into Monday and Tuesday of week 3. So be looking for that feedback. Thank you, and I hope you have a good week.